I definitely wasn't as confident with being able to hold the energy of a room, and that that hands-on and practical experience that we got to do at the course really changed my sense of excitement around holding those kinds of workshops and classes. Perhaps the only fear I had would be that I might somehow be underqualified to even do the course, and that's just the only sort of the personal things that I was working through, with not feeling knowledgeable enough or experienced enough to become a teacher. But through doing the TOT, I actually developed those skills, so I don't, even if you come feeling like you're not able to do what the course really suggests you will be able to do by the end, even in such a short time, you learn so many skills and you get the practical hands-on that actually transforms that small thinking into confidence. I thought it was fabulous. I was really impressed from the get-go how every stage of that Ecovillage had been developed in partnership with the policies and transforming of kind of government relationships that allowed for that Ecovillage to flourish, and then potentially new ecovillages after living in the model of OUR could also benefit from the work that OUR had done, as opposed to just living separate from society and not really engaging with changing those policies for the betterment of everybody. So I really enjoyed and loved seeing that modeled at OUR Ecovillage, and how there was just a strong commitment to that and really living the principles that that they set out from the beginning. Well, learned a lot more about the Sustainable Development Goals and how those cards that we use could be implemented inside of a training environment in order to help inspire people and cultivate conversation and motivate them. I learned how to quickly put together a really short workshop with many different elements and engaging emergent design facilitation techniques, and working with a partner in those really helped me bond with my with the other people in the course, as well as with my partner, whose own personal experience really added a lot of value to my practices in those workshops, in giving those workshops. Doing it in a pair, I think, really changes your perspective on giving, different workshops and holding lessons and holding classes, because it's not something you have to do by yourself. And even just having one other person and learning how to work with them will take a lot of that fear out of the equation. At least it did for me. I really gained the confidence that I needed to then go out and actually hold a workshop, which is what I was doing, what I was gearing up to do when in a month after I did the TOT, and it was really invaluable. It gave me the absolute ground platform for me to implement those emergent facilitation techniques into other workshops that I do with women and with groups in empowerment, and that was something I didn't expect to really grasp a hold of and value so much. It's almost like the emergent facilitation techniques can really be applied to so many different kinds of content. It's not just specific to environmental work, and it's definitely not just specific to kinds of other kinds of trainings and other kinds of stuff. You can really just mix it up and change it and use those skills, those life skills really, in any kind of course content. So having the ability to be outside and really engage with the community and engage with the surroundings meant that I was learning in every kind of sense, through kinesthetic, through all the five senses, through full body, and through the mind and the heart. So through having the opportunity to go out into nature and really engage with the landscape at OUR was what was really great with the different places that learning environments I've been in before. I'd say that sense of community, that feeling of building relationships with a greater sense of what we're doing in the world and why we're wanting to do this sort of work and what is important for us to be focusing our attention on. There are so many inspirational people in the group, and you just meeting them and seeing how their positive changes are helping to make the world a better place really builds and brings hope, and brought hope to me when things can get a little bit bleak after a while, when you start to look at the downsides of what's happening in the world. But when you meet other people also doing the work for good, it really lifts your spirits. I think that since leaving our Ecovillage, having the opportunity to actually live there and stay there and be part of the morning, eating breakfast, having the dinners together, sharing the singing and song nights, and seeing how everyone in that community really tries to work together is something that just, it gave me a lot of energy when I left. And so I think that holding these kinds of trainings at ecovillages is really the way to go. Well, as a facilitator myself and as someone who holds workshops and holds groups, the emergent facilitation training really gave me a lovely toolbox to reach into. And also it gives me the authority to actually say, I've done this training, I've been there, I've been under the tutelage of some great teachers, and now that I've actually done that certification, the training of trainers certification, I feel like I can go out into the world with a lot more confidence around sharing my gifts as a trainer, as a facilitator, on the interests and on the topics that I'm really passionate about sharing. I would say that you really don't know what you're capable of until you really give yourself the opportunity to focus on that for a solid period of time with some really skillful trainers who are going to show you and pull out of you your strengths and the opportunities that you get a chance to work on when you're on the course. Don't underestimate yourself, because this is a course that really does allow you to flourish in a short period of time, and by the end of it you will feel like you can deliver content, and also just not putting so much pressure on yourself, because everybody needs to try and needs to learn and needs to stumble and needs to get back up again. And I'd say that if you're part of the Gaia learning journey, doing the TOT is just the natural progression. Once you've learned all of this amazing content, once you've done maybe an Ecovillage design education course, or you've done a design for sustainability course online, or maybe you've done a permaculture design course somewhere else with another group. Once you've learned and empowered yourself in all of these areas, really the next step is giving that back and sharing it with more people. And I feel like that's really the responsibility that we have when we ourselves know about all of the good that we can do in the world and how we can do it. if we then have the training skills to share that with many different other people of different ages, of different backgrounds, we can start to shift and move this very heavy wheel, turn the cogs in people's minds towards the regenerative future that we know is coming and that we know we need to bring swiftly into being. So I hope that answers your questions, and sending you so much love.